Jon, what have you seen just from the rise of Darion this year and how he's been playing up to this point?
Oh, he's done a great job. Really just, great human being first and foremost. Tremendous leader, great, in the locker room, and then has just developed his craft. He's just gotten better and better at playing corner. So, really excited about him. Done a great job on special teams, as he's always done here, and he's just been a lot of fun to watch him grow since he got here.
When he made the position change, did you guys anticipate that he would have the capability of being as much of an impact player as he has been this season?
Well, yeah, that's you never know, honestly. But when you ask those guys to make those moves, you have the vision down the road of what you think he can be. So I think we all did, and are you always right? No, but he sure made the decision right. So yeah, I think so. I think when we moved him, we thought that was going to happen, and he made it come true.
To stay with Darion, you don't see a lot of corners with his size.
Yeah.
What's allowed him to be good at that position, to use his size to his advantage at that position?
Yeah, I just think, I think working at it, and I think the one thing that special teams builds is toughness, and I think you have to be pretty tough to play corner. I think both mentally and physically, I think it's a grind out there. You're out there by yourself. You're on an island. And I think his length and some of the things that he has, adding to technique through the years has really allowed him to play against longer receivers. You look at even at our guys. It's becoming really, long guys out there, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys out there running down the field. So it surely helped him.
What was the takeaway of Will McLaughlin from Saturday and just what he was able to show you and maybe what's next for him as he gets more and more reps?
Yeah, I think first, I think everybody, in this building was really excited for him. I think anytime those guys come back from injury, I think it's a lot of fun. They work really hard at it. Nobody sees what goes on behind the scenes, the effort and things that they have to go through to get back on the field. And so that's been fun to watch, and I think everybody was really excited about him. And then I think he played pretty well. I think he was a little rusty out there for sure, but you would say that probably above expectations of what we probably planned on. And they probably played more plays than we planned on him playing. But we asked him all along, how do you feel? How do you feel? Coach, I'm great. So it was fun to watch.
And then with the rush defense, quarterback still kind of getting you guys a little bit there. What are some things that you don't have a bye week anymore, but what are some things kind of on a game week that you can sharpen up there?
Oh, I think just the repetition of it, Bill. I just think the repetition for all these young guys and new folks in positions and working together in the back end and the front and making sure all the communication's proper and clean. And I think just the repetitions of doing it and seeing it. You don't have anybody out there that you can say, hey, this is what we did against this team back in. There's none of that. It's every time's the first time. So we've got stuff there to clean up, and a couple of those things, I didn't probably help them any in some of the calls, so I'm part of that too. So I think all of those things, you just don't have time to. You got to get going, and you got to continue the repetitions, whether mentally or physically, and you got to get through it and know that it's going to come back. Everybody's going to keep, that's how this game is. Everybody watches the week before, and man, if they find a play that works, they run it against you, and so you rep them out, and we always do that. I've been doing that for 40 years. So you just got to keep getting reps at it and, recognize what's going on.
Going off of that, what are your evaluations? What do you attribute teams having success running the ball against you guys in recent weeks?
Well, I just think a couple of those plays hit. And I think those guys practice too. I think there's good players on those sides. I think those guys have good plans. The one that got hit out, the one that got hit the other night, down the middle, we just didn't fit it right, and it happens. It's just for us, they become a little bit more of critical errors when it gets to that point, and then the option game is hard. It's why Army and Navy and all those teams are running the option, because it's really hard to defend, and we're seeing the option game now that we probably haven't seen in years. So again, that's repetition and practice and coaching and all the things that it takes. But I'm fired up about our guys. I think their attitude and effort has been great. We've misfit some stuff, and when that happens, why it gets ugly. And we're running out of opportunities and free plays, so we've got to do better.
You held the opponents to fewer than 100 passing yards again on Saturday. Do you feel like that the run game success is just a matter of keying in on the pass?
Yeah, I think there's that's an interesting question. I think it's probably a fair, sometimes when teams are running the football, but some teams, feel like that's the best way to go rather against our defense, and they think it's easier to run it, and if they have some success, then they stay with it. So I think sometimes it's probably be easier to ask the opponents what their mindset is of this style of defense. I know our guys the other night were trying to run the football against the same kind of defense. So I think it really kind of depends on what everybody's trying to do. And then as the game gets going, it kind of, it gets in there, you drop 8 guys. Well, it's a little harder to throw it sometimes. But I don't know. It's a great question. I think both sides would probably have to answer that to get you a true answer. But I think, a lot of people, some teams come in and, they don't want to throw the football. Some teams come in and that's all they're doing. They want to find, you're only rushing 3 guys, so they want to throw the football. And it just depends on philosophies of the opponents.
Jon, it's one thing to get some guys back, but what does it say about Dom that when he comes back, he dominates an entire series?
Yeah.
Malik is able to play the full game, forces a fumble.
Right.
Will, maybe not physically fully back, but in the right spots because of his experience. Just to get those guys back and have them perform the way they performed.
Yeah, it's critical. Those guys are veteran guys. Like, those guys have played a lot of football. Those guys have had the ability to play really, really good football. And the more of those guys that you can get back out there, and they also give a little bit of a calming presence for everyone. They have some of the answers that the young guys are looking for. I think those things, there's a lot of mental to it and a lot of physical that they add back in the game. But we're going down the stretch. Our best players have to play their best football, and feel like those guys did that the other night. And, will get better and better, and you hope, Malik will get healthier as he goes along, and Dom continue to keep improving and growing at that spot.
And one more Darion question. How hard is it for a guy who doesn't have a home or a home where he feels like he's able to, at a position grouping, to contribute a lot, to continue to be the type of player he was on special teams his entire career, and now at corner he's found a real home? Yeah,
it takes really an unselfish person, is what it really takes, and really a team player, is what we stress around here. You have to be locked into what's best for the team and not for yourself, and that's not common, and so that's really hard. The blessing is he found great success at it, and really then all of a sudden you realize, man, this is really important, and this is pretty cool, and this is fun, and I enjoy this, and I'm going to get my turn, and he's gotten his turn, and all of those reps. I think of a guy like Jake Hummel. Jake Hummel was here, I don't know, 300 or 400 and some special team snaps before he ever played a snap at linebacker, and the guy's now playing in the NFL. So there is means to the end, and being on special teams makes you tough, man. Y'all, that's violent stuff, and that allows you to have some mental and physical toughness, and then you become good at your craft, like Jake and DP have done, and then you have a chance to go play, because the next level, there's only 50 guys or so, and they want you to play on all the special teams. Well, he'll be ready to do that. So I think it's been awesome, and it takes a selfless guy for sure.
I'll ask another one about Will. What was just kind of your perspective, Jon, on his recovery and everything he went through to get back on the football field this season?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. I think all our guys, we everybody, we talk about those guys like, man, they're not with us. They are with us. That's really the cool thing about this group. They've that linebacker group, Bacon and Will and Willie and John Klossman, like, those guys are wheeling their things around here. They're in all the meetings. They're at practice. Like, they're cheering out on the field. You would think they were playing, and those guys really miss the game, but they love being around their team. And I think the rehab, and he was able to go rehab and do the things he was able to do. And he had a goal in his mind that he was going to get back for the Cincinnati game, and I give him a lot of credit. He reached his goal. And but those kids are, I don't know. I walk in this building every day and I see those guys, and I can't help but do everything I can to help these kids. I mean, it's what those guys are going through. Nobody understands, and I get to watch them every day. And man, they're special, and they give us all purpose around here.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Can I ask one more?
You sure can.
Okay. Sorry, I'm all the way back here. Going off of that, can you talk about the seniors and how they have 2 games left, what the emotional impact has been?
Yeah, they're incredible. I'm blessed. Coach gives me an opportunity at the start of every January to meet. I meet with the seniors by myself. I get a chance to do that, and I've gotten to meet with this group, offense, defense, all of them, and incredible humans. And really, starting in January, purpose-driven, team-driven. Man, just a unique group that way, and so. And I think just like some of those injured guys, for me, walking in this building, there's not a minute I'm going to waste to not help those guys have success. Doesn't guarantee you anything, but I think everybody on this floor would tell you that you're working for that group of guys, and the way they work, you just feel like you can't let them down, and that's what we're fighting to do.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.